Court is going to give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2024 CR 012900. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, and the court will sentence you to 12 years in the prison.
The moment the judge speaks, the courtroom goes silent. What seemed like a second chance suddenly disappears. The tone shifts, the decision is firm, and everything changes in an instant. The defendant stands frozen. But what unfolded in this courtroom pushed the judge to make such a life-altering call?
Court is calling 2024 CR 012902 State versus Timothy Zapata. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant.
Okay. And are you Mr. Zapata?
Sure.
Okay. All right. You entered a plea on February 25th to count 1 of guilty. State waived count 2 without objection. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 years. There are no applications. The state is taking in consideration 2024 CR 012900. And both parties agreed to waive the PSI. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Any witnesses state?
No.
Defense, any witnesses?
Judge, just my client.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So,
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Timothy Zapata.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
Timothy, would you tell the judge about your issues with drugs?
I've been on drugs for a very long time, since I was a kid. And this time I was granted parole. I think I did pretty good on parole for a little bit. And as you can see, I came out clean a lot of through my whole parole. But at the last couple of months, I relapsed.
Okay.
And I started using methamphetamines. And I have a job, I held a job. I tried my best to stay out the way, but human like everybody else. And I have problems and I go through them. And that's the first thing I run to is the drugs.
All right. And I'm sorry for interrupting your questioning, but what drugs? What type?
Methamphetamines.
Okay.
And
how often were you using?
well, in the beginning, I was only using probably like maybe a gram, maybe a day, but then I started using more for the fact that I had a job, so I could afford to buy it. And right now, the way it looks out there, you could get it anywhere, and everybody gets it there. It's an epidemic. It's out there. It's hard to avoid it. And I started getting a little bit depressed because over the years I lost a lot of people during my time incarcerated, and I buried a lot of people in prison. I did, and I came out and I didn't get to tell them bye. So now I know I took the wrong path. If I would have kept my nose clean, I would have been off of here in July of next year. I would have been good. But like I said, I run into problems myself. So I took it upon myself. When I was getting high, I took off on a curfew violation. But I came back home. The next day I went to work, and that's when my parole officer told me I had a warrant for my arrest.
Let me ask you a question. So I'm sure the judge is thinking the same thing. So if you knew you had a drug problem, why didn't you seek help while you were out?
I did an AA, and I tried my best to cooperate, but like I showed up to almost every NA there. I used to go to Guadalupe parole office, and that's what I used to go do them. There's this new thing that's on the phone. I really don't know how to work that new stuff, so it's hard to do in the rooms. So I couldn't really get help. For the most part, I was just worried about my drug addiction. And
Why did this result in you cutting off a monitor?
One day when I went to work, back to work Monday morning, during lunchtime, my PO got a hold of my boss and told me that I had a warrant. That if I wanted to turn myself in, that I would do so by 5 o'clock. But since I've been up days on drugs, I kind of flipped out and just took it upon myself just to run with it. I didn't want to get locked up because I knew I was gonna get locked up no matter what, and I figured that I'd just run and see how far I could get, because I didn't want to go back to jail. I didn't want to come back to prison.
So which, you understand that the only options the judge has is the amount of time she sentences you to, right?
Yes, I
So
understand that.
what are you asking the judge to do?
I'm seeing if she would have leniency on the sentence. I know she's a fair judge, and I know you're an honorable judge, and not give me that length of time that's on the table. Give me the help that I need, and send me the programs that I could. I never asked for a program before or asked for help, so it's never been on my it's been on my ITP, but I've never been sent to one. So it's like I've been, like if I gotten kicked out of
Okay, so
prison.
let me just tell you something so that you can be aware of this.
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
attorney knows this.
Yes,
I've done parole hearings before.
yes,
And actually, I would always tell my clients, being on parole is easier than being on state probation. And I know that parole, they give you a lot of chances. And they give you a lot of chances when you're testing positive for drugs. And they actually have more access to programs than they do in the state courts. So you need to keep it 100 with me. You understand?
yes, I understand, Your Honor. That's what I'm trying to say is that when I was trying my best on parole, I think I did pretty good as far as the end of the month. The end of that time that I got, when I was on drugs, that I ran. And when I took whatever drugs I had on me, I went down the street, 12 blocks down.
Mhm.
I only had the TDC ID on me. Motel said I could rent a place out for 2 days. And I said, I was surprised that those world's dumbest criminals you could put on your file, because they let me rent out a room with the TDC ID. And I stayed there and did my drugs. The next day I left to figure out what was I gonna do, how was I gonna live, or where was I gonna stay at. But when I came back home, I mean, back to the motel, they apprehended me.
Judge, I'm gonna, the state can ask you questions.
Okay, any questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. Esposito,
Yes,
you were convicted in 2004 of assault committed by a second and received 2 years, is that right?
yes,
And then you were convicted in 2013 of assault committed by a second and received 5 years, is that right?
yes,
And then also in 2019, you were also convicted of that assault on a family member, got 7 years.
yes,
Is that correct?
yes,
I'm sorry, Mr. Esposito.
yes.
No further questions.
It's nothing further.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. And Mr. Zapata, based upon the convictions that are being read to me, you know, your attorney did an excellent job for you. The court is finding you guilty. The court will ask for the therapeutic community for you. So I have no jurisdiction to place you in that program. You'll have to request it as well, but they'll see it in the court's judgment. Court is going to give you credit for any time served, taking consideration 2024 CR 012900. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, and the court will sentence you to 12 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Inside a quiet courtroom, 21-year-old Julius Tovar stands before the judge, ready to accept a plea deal for drug possession. His attorney assures the court he's turning his life around. But as the judge reviews the case, something doesn't sit right. A simple question changes everything. Why wasn't Child Protective Services involved? Suddenly, the courtroom tightens. A child was in the car during the incident, but it's not his child. Then it gets stranger. Tovar admits he's living with his girlfriend's father while she lives somewhere else entirely. The judge pauses, visibly puzzled, pressing deeper into his life, his past, his choices, his environment. What was supposed to be routine sentencing becomes an intense examination of judgment, responsibility, and risk. The judge's tone sharpens as she connects the dots, questioning whether he's truly ready for a second chance. And just when it seems like he might walk away with probation, the judge delivers a strict set of conditions and one final warning that leaves the entire courtroom silent.